Hey guys, Marsningen here with another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle video, and today we are going to be showcasing the new to global free-to-play physical Super Saiyan 3 Broly. I've taken my extreme physical team and made a few changes just to help him fit into the team a little bit better. So we have obviously the Super Saiyan 3 Broly. We have brought in the Nappa, because he is a pretty decent support unit. He gives ki and has a great chance to give attack and defense plus 30%. He also has Saiyan Warrior Race, which is a link he will share with the Broly. I believe that the Super Saiyan 3 Broly also has Berserker, but that is a link that doesn't trigger that often. Okay, no, the Super Saiyan 3 one doesn't actually have it. So he has Limit Breaking Form, which is never going to come into play on this event, or on this team anyway. So his super attack does supreme damage, and he gives himself 3 ki and a 70% attack boost at the start of the turn, which is pretty good. It makes up for the fact if you were using him on a team with other Super Saiyan 3s, it kind of makes up for the fact that he doesn't get over in a flash. If you wanted to take advantage of the limit breaking form link that the Super Saiyan 3s have, perhaps for the actual Tech Broly event itself. So that's pretty good. He will be able to super fairly regularly. He does have Saiyan Warrior Race, which is a very small attack boost. He has Super Saiyan. Saiyan Lineage is a key link, and Hardened Grudge is a 1 key link that is shared by very few units, but the physical legendary Super Saiyan Broly has it. So he will be his link partner. We will try and get them on a rotation together. And then the Goten is here just for a little bit more key support, and he also has Super Saiyan, so he'll be giving a little bit of attack boost to the Broly when he comes up on the rotation as well. So I'm going to see how far we can get through. We'll probably just do the first couple of fights depending on how well it goes. They have fierce battle, so we'll keep them together. Let's see, grab those. Oh yeah, we can get a super with Frieza this way as well. So the only annoying part is going to be getting through this first battle, because obviously Super Saiyan 4 Goku is going to have a type advantage over us. So I made sure to bring some Ghost Ushers and some other defensive items that I wouldn't normally bring on a boss rush run. So let's see what Broly can do here. So 328k neutral damage with a super attack is not bad. Obviously he's super attack 10 because he is a farmable unit. I opened up all the paths on mine, but he hasn't got a huge amount of orb investment. Should probably go show that in a little bit more detail here. So I gave him, he's obviously got the 3 level 5 additional, and then he got another 3 additional and 2 crit. Basically I've managed to get the stars in the top left because they're pretty easy to get to. The bottom right, however, is not quite at the star abilities yet, because I don't have a ton of physical orbs at the moment. So you can see he's only at about plus 1,000 in each of his stats. But I feel like that would give him a pretty decent showcase for whether or not you actually want to put a decent amount of orbs into him. Plus 1,000 seems like a fairly decent sort of average without having to waste too many orbs. And then obviously if you invest a little bit more and actually fill out that bottom right path, you can get those 4 extra star abilities. I would probably give him a fairly even mix of crits and additionals, and maybe throw in a level 3 dodge, because I like to do that on the odd unit here and there, especially as he doesn't have particularly high defense. So obviously best way to go about him is you farm him up from the original Broly event, get him to super attack 10, then you have to awaken him with the medals from the original Broly event. He only needs 3, so obviously if you do the harder difficulty event, the one that ends with the actual physical version as the boss, you can get 7 medals at a time, so that makes it a little bit quicker, because to open his dupe paths you will need to awaken 4 more units, because they need to be in that awakened stage, because any units below you are obviously can't use the hidden potential system. So not too bad to do. The drop rate on that mission is not particularly bad from what I remember. It's also the same unit you'd need to use to farm the super attack for LR Broly. So I know there's quite a few people out there that will have done it. So let's see. So this round we are definitely not going to have a good defense, because the Super Saiyan 3 one has less defense than the legendary Super Saiyan one, but actually has more attack because of that attack boost. The legendary Super Saiyan one will probably put out more damage overall though, just because he has that built-in additional attack as part of his mechanic. But we'll get Broly in the middle there, so he's getting the Saiyan Warrior race link from both sides. So give that to the legendary one. Probably doesn't need any, and then we will grab a Ghost Usher, because these units would definitely take a fair bit more damage than the Cooler Frieza partnership. I tried not to bring too good a Cooler friend, because obviously we don't want them to just run over the event before we can actually get a good couple of showings of what the Super Saiyan 3 Broly can do. So legendary one getting his, so there you go, he gets the hidden potential additional attack as well. No crits though, sadly. The best part about that Broly is if you do give him some decent crit investment, he can crit for quite a decent amount of damage. And there you go, the Super Saiyan 3 one critting for almost 500,000, which is not too bad for a free-to-play unit. So now we have these two. Apparently Cooler shares a link with the Goten, which is Thirst for Conquest. So okay, we'll leave them together, I guess. And then grab those. The Goten is going to take quite a fair amount of damage at the back, so we'll use an Icarus. Probably won't have to worry too much about support items in the battles after this one, so I don't mind using a couple of support items against the Goku, since we do have to do most of the fight at a type disadvantage. Hopefully the fact that the Frieza is so good, yeah, we can just blast straight through, because we really don't want to spend too much time on this event. We're not going to get a decent showcasing of what the Broly can do, because he doesn't have a super high crit level. So we will Ghost again here, since we definitely don't want to take all of those attacks on the Broly at the front. So let's see, we can leave him there without his attack going down, which is good, because we do want to super with the other Broly if possible. I mean, I know he will super anyway if we get a certain amount of ki, but I'm going to try and get the two, because we are, although it's a showcase for the Super Saiyan 3 one more so than the other one, showing off the power of them two being linked together, because the Super Saiyan 3 one is not an optimal choice for this team, but I feel like if you are missing one or two of the better options and you have the legendary Super Saiyan Broly, then he's not a bad choice to run on this team. We definitely need to be getting some crits if we want to get through. And there you go, there he gets the third super attack again. Still no crits, but at least that adds up the damage. See, the legendary Super Saiyan Broly gets a lot of hate. I know he was considered by a lot of people to be the worst one of the 70% leaders, but if you put some decent orb investment into him, he can potentially super attack 3 times, and then any or all of those super attacks could be crits. So since we've seen he can crit for around 500k on this particular event, he could potentially be doing 1.5 million damage, which is not bad. So sadly the Cooler, neither mine nor the Cooler friend have dupes, so they're not going to be able to crit. But at least he is tanking those hits, obviously partially thanks to the Princess Snake item. Come on Frieza, we need another big crit here so we can get rid of Goku. No? Okay. Additional? Well, there you go, you get another chance. Take him out. There we go. So, don't quite take him out, but hopefully now one of the Brolys is going to be able to do so. So let's see, let's put them like this. Definitely do not want to take a super attack here, but we should take him out. Hopefully before he gets to attack the Super Saiyan 3 Broly. So hopefully none of these attacks in the front are going to be super attacks. Come on, get a crit. Get a crit and finish him off. Might finish him anyway. Yeah, there we go. Good. Right. So now we get this part out of the way. I had thought about doing that part of the fight before actually starting recording, but it's probably easier just to go for it there. We got to see him attack a few times. He crit for a fairly decent amount of damage. So now let us try out Vegeta, who of course has 2 STR stages as well. But fortunately, the Link partnership of Cooler and Full Power Frieza is very tanky, so, and obviously it is the first stage, so the units are a lot weaker in those first couple of stages, so that's not too bad for a Cooler with no dupes, I suppose. I mean, a Rainbow Star, I've used, I think I've done this boss rush off camera with a Rainbow Star Cooler friend using my the best extreme physical team I can take, and yeah, linked up with Full Power Frieza, he just tanks for double digits from pretty much everyone, which is very cool. So Frieza takes him out, so now we get more of an opportunity to see what he can do with neutral typing. So we will let him go first, see how much damage he takes back from the physical from the tech Vegeta. So let's see. So yeah, what do you think of the Super Saiyan 3 Broly super attack? I really like the super attack animation for this one, which is the one that the tech one has before he awakens. And then once the tech one awakens, I really don't like his super attack animation, so I'm quite a fan of the physical one. So there's the legendary Super Saiyan Broly getting some crits, and the Super Saiyan 3 one took quite a fair bit of damage from those attacks, but then the physical one putting out over 1 million damage with the 2 crits, so he's showing off a little bit. So we got another strength phase, and then we can go on to the actual Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. So you can grab those and you can grab those. Let's see, and Full Power Frieza gets another crit. Full Power Frieza is such a great unit, and there's an additional, mine is at 100%, he's an absolute beast. Crit for 1.7 million basically. When, I don't know the order that they're going to do them in, but hopefully he'll get his Extreme Z Awakening next. Obviously they are a long way from coming to Global, but I really can't wait to run him on this team once he's Extreme Z Awakened, because if the Goku and Broly ones that we've seen so far from JP are anything to go by, his Awakening is going to be pretty ridiculous. So you can grab those, just because he has the more... Ah, no. Damn it, I didn't realise we were so close. We really wanted the Dokkan attack with the Broly. Damn it. Oh well, they fixed the app reset glitch, otherwise I would probably just do that so we could get the Dokkan with him, but unfortunately once you collect orbs I don't think you can... Oh wait, does it work when you actually do? No, that's great, let's just go for it. Because I can't remember whether it actually still works if you haven't picked up the orbs with the last person, because I know they fixed it so that you couldn't get out of a super attack that you didn't know was going to be coming, because it resets you to where you picked up your last set of orbs, but I'm not sure if you can go back and do it again before the last lot of orbs has been selected. But either way, that's not how we roll here. We don't do that. So I just need to learn to pay a lot more attention to that Dokkan bar. So a crit for over 800k is not the worst, and then an additional puts it up to just over 1 million. Then he gets another additional with a crit. So we're looking at around 1.5 million damage overall, which is not bad. And now the Super Saiyan 3 Broly coming in as well. Can he get a crit? No, 217k. It's not too bad, being that Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta is quite a tanky boss anyway, so he takes a little bit less damage. But, and then Cooler gets just an additional normal attack, which is fine. And then another additional attack. So again, a lot of additional attacks go off with this team, which is pretty nice. Okay, oh my goodness. So all of the attacks are in the front, so that is going to be a job for Cooler. We'll just grab a heal, because unless, apart from a super attack, he's not going to take too much damage from any of the incoming attacks. Grab those. In fact, to be perfectly honest, he should take him out now that I realise how much health he's actually on. So Cooler should take out Vegeta with no issue, especially linked up with Frieza. Yeah, 500,000 without a crit, with no dupes, so definitely don't underestimate Cooler. He's a great unit. He's probably one of my favourite 120 leads. Like, I know people like Gogeta are crazy powerful and can demolish events pretty much by himself, but I really like Cooler. So right, so now we're going against Cooler himself, so we can try out against some of these weaker units here. So we're going to take a hit from the Dore, and then we will try and take out Bowser. We will let the legendary Super Saiyan Broly take out Naze, and then we'll just let Goten go at it. If Naze doesn't die, he should finish him off, and if the Super Saiyan 3 Broly doesn't kill off Bowser, then hopefully Goten will. So 403k, it's not too bad. Takes just over 10k from a normal attack. So yeah, fairly similar damage this time from the two, which is not too bad when you consider this guy is a one of the old god leaders, and I think mine has 3 dupes, although he's not fully filled out as much as he could be with those 3 dupes, but that is still very respectable damage from the free-to-play unit. You can grab those so that Cooler can grab these. So we are finally in the next phase going to actually have an int enemy, so we can see what the Broly can do with type advantage. Just got to finish cleaning up the minions here, but full power Frieza should take him out even without a crit. Yep, over 1.1 million with no crit. So okay, let's see what we can do now with a type advantage. So yeah, we definitely don't want to put the other Broly first, because he'll do way too much. So just grab that, and then we'll grab those so that Nappa can grab those. So yeah, 10k-ish again from Thouser is not too bad. So here we go, super attack with type advantage. It's only 321k. Definitely expected it to be a little bit harder than that without a crit, but... And then the Broly only does 440. So yeah, you can see they are not the hardest hitting units, considering just how hard the Frieza and Cooler can hit for. But like I say, they are definitely decent choices for the team if you can't run the fully optimal setup for Extreme Physical. It's a shame I don't have the Super Boo, because it'd be interesting to have a 40% support unit on the rotation with them, just to see how much that would push their damage up. But and so Cooler takes out Thouser. Okay, so now we have the AGL, so I'll have to let the Super Saiyan 3 one go first since he has the lower defense. Then Legendary Super Saiyan comes in next, and then Cooler is not going to be able to get a super attack, because as we discussed at the very beginning, this is definitely the least effective rotation, because Cooler is not really bringing anything to this rotation other than Fierce Battle. So come on Broly, get a crit. There you go, so crit for 422. And then the Legendary Super Saiyan 1, see, he does about just under half that without a crit, so and then just over that with a crit. So the Super Saiyan 3 one putting out a pretty respectable amount of damage compared to the old 70% God Leader, considering that he is in fact a free-to-play unit, so definitely can't complain in that sense. And then I think this will be the end of the AGL cooler. We can go on to the final stage, and then I think we will wrap it up there, unless we can pick up a ton of physical orbs and get really close to a Dokkan, and then I'd be tempted to start the next one just so we can actually try and get it with the Super Saiyan 3 one. But he is going into his final form now, so I don't think the fight is going to last long enough for us to actually see another Dokkan attack, but I guess we will see. So, okay, so grab that. We will use a Princess Snake just to heal up a little bit and not take too much damage, because I know Cooler will definitely super attack us for a fair bit of damage if he does super, so that is the problem, and always has been with the Broly units, is they're not very defensive. So here we go, the legendary Super Saiyan 1 having to take a super attack from Cooler. 75k with the Princess Snake active, so definitely a good choice to use that there. Only 202k from the super on Cooler, crit for almost 400, so now compare that, what can we do with the free-to-play unit with not as much orb investment. So yeah, you can see the damage that he does from the super attacks without crits is not far off of the legendary Super Saiyan 1. When you consider the difference in their stats, that is pretty good, especially the hidden potential buffs as well. Because you can see, if I bring it up again actually, just to really show the difference between the two. So the other Broly has a much higher attack stat in general, but obviously the Super Saiyan 3 one does buff himself at the start of the turn. But he's getting just over 1,000 to everything, and he's only got 6 crit. Whereas this one has 3,000 in everything, pretty much, and has all of his star abilities, so he has 15 crit and 11 additional. So the fact that the Super Saiyan 3 one is sort of keeping up with him is actually pretty decent. So, but as you can see from our item usage, this team probably wouldn't be able to finish the boss rush. But then again, if I was going to bring the rotation of the two Brolys on an actual serious attempt at the boss rush, I probably wouldn't bring the Nappa and the Goten. Goku Black is obviously a much better replacement for one of those two, because he's a very powerful unit and he gives the 3 key with his passive. He just doesn't really share any links with the Broly other than Fierce Battle, so I decided to bring these guys instead, just to really see how much we could get out of the Super Saiyan 3 Broly. And then obviously if you have the physical Super Buu, as we just discussed, you can use him to good effect. So we took a super, but fortunately we are going to tank all the normal attacks, so that is fine. And we aren't going to get a Dokkan, unfortunately, so we will just grab as many orbs as we can from here. Yeah, unfortunately we are not anywhere near, so let's see, can he get a crit and finish off Cooler? 214, takes 21k in return, and then the legendary Super Saiyan 1 does 258. So again, you can see not a huge difference between the two Brolys, considering that one is completely free to play and doesn't have as much orb investment as the other one. I feel like that's actually not bad. So he's worth getting. He's worth putting some orbs into if you want to run a physical team and are missing 1 or 2 of the more optimal units. I feel like he's definitely a solid choice. I know a lot of people that have had this guy for a while and were potentially aware of and awaiting the SSJ3 Awakening had him at Rainbow. I kind of wanted to do that in preparation, but unfortunately in the build up to Super Saiyan 3 Broly finally getting released, I ended up pulling a couple of dupes for units like Vegito Blue, so obviously he sort of took priority of who to max out first. I also pulled Omega from the Janemba banner, so he's on my more optimal version of this team, and I had to give orbs to him as well. But I feel like that's a fairly decent showcase of what that Super Saiyan 3 Broly can do. As I say, my final verdict would be that he is a unit worth getting, worth opening his paths because it's not difficult to do, and then obviously you can decide based on how much you feel you would use him and whether you have a space for him in any of your teams, whether you would actually put orbs into him. I like to always put the free ability into characters that I feel like I'm going to use every now and then because it doesn't cost that many orbs to do so. So hopefully that gives you a pretty good idea of what you can expect for him. So this is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. If you liked what you saw, please leave a like and subscribe for more regular Dokkan Battle content. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at the Masked Ningen. Feel free to tweet me any good summon pulls or ideas on teams or themes that you want to see in the future. We are on the road to 500 subscribers, so hashtag 500 Mortals Plan all over the comments, and I will see you again soon. Have a good one.